Okay, so
Double.
they there's a small adjustment period or time period between college and professionals, specifically for the women's game. Is there anything that you wish you could have did differently, or any advice to give to those? I know we're like halfway through the season now, to get them better prepared, or is it kind of just, hey, everything comes fast and you got to learn as fast as possible on the fly? Like you just kind of.
So I actually started in my rookie year was an Olympic year too.
Oh,
So it was like 2 weeks between end of season because I lost in my senior year, we lost in Elite Eight.
hmm.
So it was like maybe a month, if that. I really don't even think it was a whole month. Like it was literally like when's Final Four, April 4th. I had to report like April 20th. So it might have been almost a month. Went straight there. And then also like Olympic break was like, okay, you can breathe. We got a little time off because like in Olympic years too, like the games be way closer. Everything is just so much faster because we have the break. So it's just go 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 go. I think I would tell kids, especially if they're on a team like that goes far in the NCAA tournament, like sit down, bro, like chill. You're not gonna get demonstrably better. Like they've already seen you. You're not gonna change your game in this 3 weeks. Like take some rest because you're not gonna get none. Especially if you're no, because it don't even matter if you end up like because I got drafted 10 and I still didn't play until like midway through the season, but I still practiced every day. Like
Damn.
I'm still doing the extra workouts. Like me and my brother laugh because he had a season where like he barely played. And we're talking about, and we're both like, bro, it's way worse when you don't play because you show up early, you do your lifts, your pregame stuff, your pregame workout, or like your pre-practice workout. You practice, then you stay after, you do extra shots. Then game day comes, you show up early, you do your pregame workout, pregame shooting, sit, cheer. After the game, you gotta do extra conditioning because you didn't touch the floor. And then you do it all over again, bro. Like you do so much work not playing. When you play, you kind of get to chill out a little bit. Like you gonna do your extra, but you gotta save your energy. Like they're not gonna make you do the most, but you're not playing, bro. They be like, all right, see you at. All right, let's get this extra. You already know you're playing, bro. Stop playing with me. Like let me chill. Like chill, nah.
That's never easy to hear. So I guess my question for you is then how do y'all both of you, let alone yourself, keep your head up high during all that? Like, hey, it's a matter of when, not if. I'm like that for real. And eventually it even worked out for you. You ended up starting. So how do you keep your head up during all that?
Well, for the NBA side, you could pay me $1 million, $2 million to sit on the bench.
That's true.
What are we talking about?
You're right. That was right there. Fair enough.
I'm gonna take the 5 to sit on the.
Yeah!
Up top.
Go Curry, go. 4-string point guard. I don't care. Extra.
And then for like the women's side, we got a whole second season. Like, especially if you're not that guy, you're definitely going overseas in the season because you're not really making enough with the WNBA and off the court to feel like you could stay home. And if you're not the in-market player, and most of the time the in-market player is never a player that doesn't play. It's always one of the players that are like the stars. So you got to remember, like, I could sit here and be salty because I'm not playing because of whatever the reason is, but I still have a whole nother season. So if I tap out right now, I'm going to be trash in the next season too.
Right.
So it's really like, you got to understand that, like, yes, it's a team game, but like it's your career. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I could stop locking in and doing the work now, but it's going to bite me in my ass. And like, truthfully, for a lot of us, like that's where the bread really is, depending on who you are. Because if you're not the face of the team, you're not getting a lot of off-court opportunities anyway. So like you kind of just got to lock in. And then for me, I realized like I really enjoy cheering on my teammates. Like I really enjoy seeing my people win. Like I'm competitive. Like I ain't trying to just be sitting on the bench on a losing team. That's the worst. That's the worst. Sitting on the bench on a losing team is the absolute worst. Cause you're like, bro, I could suck as bad as him. Like, why am I not doing
Yeah, that's actually, while we're on this subject, I know Omar has another question, but I have to ask. I ask every professional that happens to come up on here. What is the one thing that doesn't get talked about enough that you can't stand as a professional hooper? We've heard travel in the past. That doesn't get talked about enough. What is the hardest thing that you go through?
I think the hardest thing is like certain coaches. I think when you get to the professional level, it's not about basketball no more, right?
Okay.
Like it's 10% basketball, 90% a lot of other shit that you can't control.
Oh, I get
So a lot of it is very frustrating because like you could be eating up the person in front of you, but they might be on a max contract.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get their 25 out of that girl because they paying her for that. Like, you know what I mean? So understanding that it's not always about the basketball, I think was the most aggravating thing for me. Cause I'm like, it's ball. What do we mean I need to do XYZ or I need to talk to somebody or I need to like it's basketball. But it's so much more than that.
I'll break the fourth wall. So you're saying there's just a lot of politics going on that people don't know about.
Yeah, for
Damn,
sure.
I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
You know, like for us too, our rosters are small.
Yeah.
Like it's not a 16 player roster, it's 12 of us. And a lot of teams only carry 11 because they can't pay everybody. So, and then we have a vet league for real. Most of our players are 6, 7, 8, and more in. You know what I mean? Like Diana Taurasi has been in the league for 20 years. Like, you know what I mean? So we have big vets in our league. So that even creates something that's really harder for us because like kids just don't really get opportunities like that. So I think that's the hardest part to realize is like it's basketball and it's not always about basketball.
Damn.
So then let me ask you this because actually that was going to be my next question, especially as newer fans are coming into the game and they don't understand how X player can be waived and then brought back and then waived and brought back, hardship, 7-day, X, Y, and Z, LMNOP, QRS, TUV. Do you, from where you sit now, have any, I guess, blueprint or guideline or advice for those that are going through that hardship of, because today, like Destiny Henderson got waived from the Dream. Well, not really waived, her 7-day ended. And so people are upset because she was in training camp, out of training camp, Crystal Dangerfield was here, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too messy, but people are confused as to how that keeps happening. Long story less long, do you have any like blueprint or advice for those people that are going through that same type of in and out of the league situation?
Be happy as hell. Like, you could be annoyed as fuck that they calling you for that 7-day, but when you get that call, I'm so happy to be here 7 days. Oh my God, that's 7 days, but you better look like you are on the Yellow Brick Road. You better be as excited as hell, and you gonna get that second call, be annoyed because all right, another 7 days. Like, but that's the reality of it. And the way our league works is because a lot of teams don't want to commit because you only get 3 7 days. After that 37 day, you gotta sign them or you can't pull them back.
Yeah.
So a person will go do a 7-day with Seattle and come do a 7-day with Atlanta, and then go do another 7-day over there. And like, if you look at our league too, it's always the same kind of 10 players that they use, and they just keep signing them on hardships or 7 days and da. But they stand in the conversation. And like, I would love a 7-day. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, and as arrogant and big as my ego is, I take a fucking 7-day because I want to be in the league. So I think you got to just understand that it's a bigger purpose. And when you get to the opportunity, you got to be ready for it, because everybody thinks it's about like, oh, like she's so good at basketball. No, it's opportunity. It's fit. Who do we need? What do we need? Right? Why was Kate Martin sticking in Vegas? That girl wasn't the best at her position in the game, but she was in the best position for her. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of it is fit and opportunity. So you just got to stay excited, stay ready, and make sure everybody's got something good to say about you, and just keep doing that. And then on the flip side of that, even just having a 7-day or a training camp on your little CV when you go overseas, that's another 10 bands, 20 bands.
Oh,
just having that.
Oh,
yeah. So
decent check.
So 21 days, 30 bands, smiling.
It's changing the conversation, just having it on your resume, like.
Because you're a winning commodity at that point. Even if you yourself at that point in time feel like you're not, you truly are. At least if anything, you have to move knowing people got their eyes on you. So
exactly.
I hear that.
Okay. So you went overseas after your first year in the league. So what are the differences? Because in that same year, we're talking 2016, college, like you said, in less than 20 days, you are in the WNBA, get a little Olympic break. And then at the end of the year, you are overseas. What was that transition like? I mean, this is a big year. And what are the differences between college, the WNBA, and overseas?
Yeah, so I'm a brat. So and I was married at the time too. And my husband was still in school because he did a 5th year. He played football. And so like after my WNBA season, I went home and I was like working my regular accounting job and being around my husband and stuff. And we kind of was just like, yeah, you need to go get that bread. Like, all right, this is cool, but yeah, you gotta go, bro. Like, okay. So I just went to Israel for playoffs my first year overseas. And that was like 3 months or so. The difference from college to the pros is everybody is good. Like that 15th, well, for us, 11, 12 person off the bench is good. They're still good. They're just not playing. like the other day we saw Sydney Colson. She doesn't play for Vegas, but she came in and made a huge impact in the game. You know what I mean? Like that's everybody's bench. They're just not playing those players for whatever the reason may be, but they're still very good. The same way you was everything for your college team, they were too. So I think the biggest thing is understanding, like, you got to read the second page of the scout in the pros.
Damn, I like that.
They coming and they gonna randomly play that person that you decided you wasn't gonna pay attention to, and she gonna eat you up, and you gonna feel stupid. Like,
you got a name? Like who's the name right now that ain't playing? But I swear if they were, it's over.
Man, Alyssa. Talk about coming out of college, Alyssa Healy.
That's his guy. That's
also, but she's not getting no burn on that squad just because her position is stacked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's funny how you think about how when I'm talking about opportunity, if Angel, they hadn't traded for that pick for Angel, and Angel went to Minnesota, her whole career would be a different conversation.
That's true.
She wouldn't have played in Minnesota. She wouldn't have been getting 35 minutes in Minnesota.
It's true.
That's fair.
And that's the reality of like fit and situation. So I think, and then it's just not a lot of time in the pros. So in college, you got 3 hours of practice. You got a whole off season together. You got summer workouts. So you have probably 2-3 months to learn the plays for real. In the pros, you got 2 weeks to learn the plays. Like, that's it. You got 2 weeks of training camp to learn the plays. And it's really not even 2 weeks because you're gonna have your first preseason game the first day of the second week. So you got to be able to lock in and pick stuff up quickly because we only gonna be in practice an hour and a half. You might have a coach that does 2 hours, but we in and out. Like, so you got to be able to pick things up quickly. And if you don't, you got to be able to say like, hey, can I meet with you later so you can explain this to me because I don't get it. And then overseas, so the pros, I am a professional role player. Like I've been a starter maybe out of the 4 or 5 years that I played in the league, I was a starter maybe 2.5. But for the most part, I was off the bench 15, good day, 25, 30, but off the bench for real, right? You scouting for me, but you ain't really worried.
You come on. Nah, you getting 25. You a problem. You getting 25.
But that's not every day though. It was a good day. I got the 25. You feel me? So, like I'm still second page of the scout, but I was top of the second page. You know what I mean?
Like page 6.
Take your wins when you get them. Take the wins when you get them.
I'm about to say that's a dub. That's a dub. Not a lot of people can say that.
But so like in your mind, like when you're in the league, I played for 3 teams, 5 coaches. So every year you look at my film, I look completely different. Because for me, like I wasn't that guy that was gonna come and be like, this is what I do. Especially because I was a defensive player early on. So I played differently offensively in every system I played in because the coach wanted me to do something different. And so you may have that mindset of like, I'm gonna do what the coach wants, and you go overseas and they don't care what you do, get a buck. Like I'm paying you, you're gonna play 40 minutes. I don't care. ISO, like we don't care. Give her the ball, bro. She's shooting it. Like this past season in China, they was like, stop passing, bro. Stop it. Shoot.
Damn.
It was like, no. Shoot. Like, I'm like, bro, she gotta shoot. Hey. So like the mindset has to change drastically once you leave the league and go overseas. Because when you overseas, you really like, that's where you perfect your game for real. Like all the stuff you working on in practice and your workouts, and then you get to the league and they're like shoot layups. You go over the seas and it's like, nah, bring the ball up, push the ball, pass, like work on that between the legs move you had that you knew you was never going to do it again.
Wait,
like,
why do you think it's that way?
That is very interesting.
Is that a play style thing or
when you go overseas, they're paying the American. Like we're paying you to carry our team. Now, depending on like the level of league you're in too, right? If you're on a EuroLeague team, right? you're gonna have 3 or 4 Americans. So you could kind of tone it down because now you have to play with other great players. But if you're going to China or Mexico just added more players, but last year it was like 2, 3. Like, we brought you here to score. Like, that's why you're here. We're paying the American. And if you're going to Europe, like those European countries, Poland, the ones I can't pronounce, all of those countries, they bringing you to put the team on your back, bro. Like, that's what they're doing. That's the purpose of having.
Yeah, understandable. Not to, if it is too much, then don't feel free to. We can skip this one. It's not on the sheet. Chicago has a name for itself as far as like facilities go and treatment go and players go and stuff like that. How was the experience in Chicago versus going overseas and how they treated you? PC answer.
And at your own level. You ain't got no fun. We usually trap you, but I'll take
This is offline too.
I'm about to say it's offline.
It's a safe space. It really is a safe space.
You good. No chats here. And now we usually trap you if we live, but
so I'm actually really cool with the owner of Chicago.
I'm cool with D-Wade too. No, go ahead. Bro.
Hilarious. You're funny. But that's the thing. Like, and so one of the things about the new CBA is that it put a certain amount of money that they have to allocate to advertising. Like, teams can't be like, we ain't gonna make no money, so I'm gonna just say that I'm not even gonna spend the advertising dollars. Like, they had to spend a certain amount, right? And like, Chicago was one of those teams where now they play in the city. When I played there, we played in Rosemont. If you know Chicago, that is an hour from the south side of Chicago. Like, that's like the burbs. So people that was living in Chicago, like, I got family out there. So like, my family staying on the south side. Like, if they want to come in, they had to drive an hour. And that's not even counting traffic for real. Like, it was literally an hour away from the city. And then like, you be downtown and like, they don't even know we have a WNBA team. You know what I mean? So it's a very big difference. And then, so for me, like, I left Chicago and went to Atlanta. Complete opposite. Atlanta love the dreams. The dream. If you know, you know.
Atlanta boy right here.
It's the dreams. Atlanta love the dreams. Like, everybody know we got a WNBA team. Like, everybody comes to the game, and like, they didn't have their own practice gym. Like, they use before they had their own gym. Like, now they do. But when I was there, we didn't have our own practice gym, but it was just a huge difference. Like, when I was in Chicago, like, the rookie had to carry the bags, and I was the only rookie, so I'm getting off.
Is cartoony real? Is like cartoony realistic in the sense that you got like all the bags? Yeah. Oh my god! We
ain't paying for nobody to help us with the bags. I get to Atlanta and I'm getting ready to grab the bags, and they got the bell cap low in the back. We don't grab bags here. Like, we pay for the guy to come bring. What? Like,
oh my!
Like, I get to Atlanta, I'm like, yo, this apartment is crazy. Now, don't do them wrong. They've done a lot better. Everything takes time, you know what I mean? But that is why that is why everyone leaves Chicago. I too asked for a trade out of Chicago.
Well, you broke somebody's heart. I'll say there's one.
Our designer in the background.
Our designer's in the back.
He's going crazy.
No, because he asked we were in the conversation earlier, and he was like, "How come people are killing Marina today?" Like, it just irks me because who knows what could have been going on. So actually, you might have,
I asked for a trade too, but I asked for a trade because of the coach, not because of the city. I love the city. The city loved me. Like, I was back in Chicago's training camp 2022. It was great. Teaspoon, if you're watching, see you soon. I just spoke that into existence. She's not calling me, but it's okay. It's okay.
Call her. Life's short.